Okay, it's me again. Here I am, back with some more information. I'll start with what I used to do for a living for many years. I used to work in scientific laboratories and big companies. I traveled around by airplane through the United States, Canada, some in Europe. Went to the old former East Germany on a business trip once. That was a very interesting experience. It was just 1 month after unification. So while I traveled, it's hard for me to just sit on an airplane for 10 hours or 14 hours unless I'm doing something. So I was reading books, reading lots and lots of books. So I read books with health information and business information. And so the health information, some of that goes like this. Okay, there's a book I read written by a doctor called The Cancer Answer. And in the book, the doctor said that when people get cancer and have it treated successfully, then their body's free of cancer due to treatment. In most of those cases, the people don't change their lifestyle that gave them the cancer in the first place. And so they, within 4 or 5 years, usually get a second cancer, and that usually takes their life. And I read that book about the time my dad got his first cancer. And he had it successfully treated. And then about 4 years later, he got a second cancer, and that one took his life. So that's what I mean by that. Okay, so another thing we want to talk about here is private investigators. When I got involved in real estate, I got in a bad situation with some person that was a I'd say very dangerous person who threatened my life when I couldn't pay him the money. He threatened me, and he guaranteed me that he would destroy me. And a friend told me about a book called How to Be Invisible. And so in that book, it talks about how private investigators find people. And one of the methods they use to find people, if people have ordered anything delivered from some big company, I can't give the names, but all these big companies out there are people, other private investigators somewhere who have a person who works at one of these large organizations who takes money and gives out information. So if a person has what's called a ghost address, where they don't actually have anything delivered to that ghost address, nothing. Do not order a pizza, don't order anything delivered to that address. They won't be found by a private investigator. And sometimes when people hire a private investigator, they're actually doing this because they have bad ideas. They want to get somebody because they want to cause harm to them. And so if they do not ever have anything mailed to them or sent to them, or pizza order, or anything to an address, and have the electric bill in somebody else's name, and then they just pay it, and the phone bill, the internet bill, that kind of stuff. Okay, so wonderful book, How to Be Invisible. You can't find out who the real author is because he's using his own ideas to remain invisible. And so talk also about building up really good credit and how that's helped me through the years. I have a good friend I was living out of the country for 6 years. When I came back, I didn't have very good credit because I didn't care about my credit while I was overseas. And I couldn't even buy a car. I was in my early 60s, I couldn't buy a car. And I went to talk to a friend. I had read books about credit building, but I hadn't really internalized it. I knew what had to be done, but I hadn't experienced it yet. But the friend had me go open an account at the same credit union that he belonged to. He loaned me a couple $1,000s. I went into the credit union and I put, he loaned me $2,000. I put up the $2,000 as a collateral account and then made payments. And that was the beginning of building good credit. It took several years before I finally got to 800 plus credit scores, and how that actually helped me make more money. Because when I could finally buy a car that was my own car but financed, I got it at 4%. If I had to do it today, it's 5%, but 4%, and then made payments on it. It was a 7-year loan, and I paid it off in 3 years. And because I had that car, I actually was able to make a couple $1,000s per month, extra money on top of my retirement money because of using the car. Anyway, I will put up more of this pretty soon, like each day. I hope you enjoy it, and click subscribe, and I'll keep the information coming. Take care.